OnlyFans model. Madison Sterling walks into Judge Harrison Burke's courtroom, expecting her fame and beauty to work their usual magic. She's charged with murdering her business manager in cold blood. But what Judge Burke does next will remind everyone that manipulation has limits and that deadly arrogance has consequences. This is Madison Sterling's story, showing what happens when digital deception meets real justice in a courtroom where truth matters more than followers. Before we begin, subscribe and tell us where you're watching from, because we all know someone who thinks their online persona makes them untouchable. March 2024, Miami-Dade Criminal Courthouse, Courtroom 6B. The atmosphere crackles with tension as media crews line the hallways outside. Camera flashes illuminate the building's limestone facade. Inside, every seat in the gallery is occupied. Reporters clutch notepads. Spectators crane their necks for better views. The case captivating the nation. State of Florida versus Madison Sterling. First-degree murder. The victim, Rebecca Chen, 28 years old, a rising star in social media management, found dead in Sterling's penthouse apartment on March 15th. The weapon. A designer silk scarf worth more than most people's monthly salary. The crime scene tells a story of wealth and violence. Sterling's $2.3 million penthouse overlooks Biscayne Bay. Floor-to-ceiling windows, Italian marble floors. The kind of luxury that social media dreams are made of. Chen arrived for what she believed was a routine business meeting. She never left alive. Judge Harrison Burke presides over this courtroom with the authority of 25 years on the bench. Silver-haired, steel-eyed, zero tolerance for games. His reputation precedes him. Defense attorneys know better than to test his patience. Prosecutors respect his fairness. Today, he faces his most high-profile case yet. The prosecution team is led by Sarah Martinez, a specialist in white-collar crime who has built her career dismantling complex financial schemes. She sits at her table, case files organized with military precision. Across the aisle, celebrity criminal defense attorney Marcus Thompson adjusts his expensive tie. His client has paid handsomely for his services. The stakes could not be higher. If convicted, Sterling faces life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. No appeals to her millions of followers can save her here. No filters can hide the truth. No amount of money can buy innocence when the evidence speaks louder than any social media post ever could. The stage is set for a battle between image and reality, between performance and justice. Madison Sterling enters the courtroom like an actress taking the stage. 24 years old, 5 feet 6 inches of calculated vulnerability. Platinum blonde hair pulled back in a modest bun that took her stylist 2 hours to perfect. Striking blue eyes that have launched 1,000 fantasies now brim with what appears to be genuine fear. Her transformation is remarkable. The sultry temptress who commands millions of followers has vanished. In her place sits a demure young woman in a conservative navy dress. The hemline falls below her knees. The neckline reveals nothing. Every detail of her appearance has been orchestrated by her legal team, but Madison Sterling was not always this polished creation. 18 months ago, she served tables at a roadside diner in rural Georgia. Her real name is Madison Kowalski. The glamorous backstory her publicists crafted about private schools and modeling contracts is pure fiction. She built her empire on lies, and lies became her native language. Her rise to internet stardom happened with lightning speed. 2.3 million followers worship her carefully curated innocence. They believe they know the real Madison. They send her money, gifts, marriage proposals. They have no idea they are funding a sociopath's lifestyle. The financial numbers tell their own story. $4.2 million in net worth. Luxury cars in 3 different cities. A yacht docked in Monaco. Properties spanning from Miami to Malibu. All of it built on the fantasy that she is just a sweet girl who stumbled into fame. Her relationship with Rebecca Chen began as pure business. Chen was brilliant at managing influencer brands and even better at spotting financial irregularities. She discovered Sterling had been embezzling from sponsored content deals. Hundreds of thousands of dollars diverted into shell accounts. When Chen threatened exposure, Sterling made a choice that would bring her to this courtroom. Now, Sterling sits at the defense table, dabbing her eyes with tissues, trembling hands folded in apparent prayer. The performance of her lifetime has begun. The first crack in Sterling's facade appears before the trial even begins. She arrives 20 minutes late. Offering no apology to the court, her heels click against the marble floor as she saunters to the defense table. Judge Burke's eyes track her movement. His expression hardens. Rebecca Chen's sister delivers a victim impact statement that moves the entire courtroom to tears. She speaks of Rebecca's dreams, her kindness, her dedication to helping others succeed. Sterling whispers to her attorney during the emotional testimony. She giggles softly at something Thompson says. The sound carries in the silent courtroom. Prosecutor Martinez begins her opening arguments with devastating precision. She outlines the evidence methodically: financial records, security footage, phone records. Sterling pulls out her phone and checks her messages. The blue light illuminates her face as she scrolls through notifications. Judge Burke's voice cuts through the courtroom like a blade. "Miss Sterling, this is a murder trial, not a photo shoot." Sterling looks up with wide, innocent eyes. She slides the phone into her purse with exaggerated care, as if she had no idea she was doing anything wrong. But the disrespect continues. Sterling requests special seating arrangements because the lighting is unflattering. She asks for water breaks every 30 minutes. She complains that her chair does not work with her outfit. Thompson dutifully presents each request to the court with apologetic professionalism. The evidence presentation should command respect and attention. Instead, Sterling treats it like background noise. She rolls her eyes when the prosecutor displays crime scene photos. She examines her manicure during testimony about the murder weapon. She stretches dramatically, drawing attention to herself rather than the proceedings. Judge Burke's patience wears thin with each display of entitlement. His warnings become sharper. His tone grows colder. Sterling seems oblivious to the mounting tension. She has spent her entire adult life being the center of attention. She cannot comprehend a room where she is not the star. The collision between her narcissism and his authority builds toward an inevitable explosion. Judge Burke's patience reaches its breaking point during the third day of testimony. Sterling checks her phone again, despite his previous warnings. His gavel strikes the bench with thunderous authority. "Miss Sterling, your followers are not here to save you." The words echo through the silent courtroom. Sterling's face flushes red with embarrassment and rage. The judge confiscates her phone immediately. Sterling protests with the indignation of someone who has never been denied anything. "But, Your Honor, I have business to conduct." Burke's stare could freeze fire. "Your only business now is staying out of prison for the rest of your life." The prosecution systematically destroys Sterling's carefully constructed image. Security footage shows only 2 people entering her penthouse apartment on March 15th, Sterling and Rebecca Chen. Only 1 person left alive. The timestamp proves Chen died during their meeting. No intruder, no robbery, no accident. Financial expert Dr. Patricia Williams takes the stand with damning evidence. $50,000 disappeared from Chen's business account in the weeks before her death. The money moved through a complex web of shell companies and offshore accounts. All roads lead back to Sterling's personal spending: luxury handbags, designer shoes, a diamond necklace worth more than most people's cars. The text message evidence proves premeditation beyond doubt. Sterling sent Chen increasingly hostile messages in the days before the murder. "You're ruining my life, Rebecca." Chen's response was prophetic. The truth always comes out. Sterling's final message chills the courtroom. "We'll see about that." Sterling faces mounting pressure from every direction. The legal evidence builds an unescapable case around her. The social pressure of hundreds of judgmental eyes weighs on her shoulders. Judge Burke refuses to bend to her manipulation tactics. Most terrifying of all, she cannot control this narrative. No editing. No filters, no deleting inconvenient truths. Her innocent act becomes increasingly forced and obvious. Frustrated sighs escape her lips. Her trembling hands betray genuine fear rather than calculated vulnerability. The mask begins to slip. The bombshell arrives on day 4 when Prosecutor Martinez reveals evidence that will shatter Sterling's world completely. A private social media account Sterling thought she had deleted forever. The prosecution's cyber forensics team recovered every post, every photo, every cruel comment. The courtroom falls silent as Martinez displays the evidence on large screens. Sterling's real personality explodes across the monitors in vivid detail. Posts bragging about manipulating business partners. Photos of luxury purchases time-stamped during her supposed financial hardship. Voice recordings where she mocks her followers as pathetic losers who pay for my lifestyle. One post particularly damns her. Rebecca thinks she's so smart. Can't wait to see her face when I destroy her. Posted just 2 days before the murder. Another shows Sterling wearing the exact silk scarf used to strangle Chen, captioned, "Tools of the Trade." Sterling's carefully maintained composure cracks like glass under pressure. Her eyes dart frantically between the screens and the jury. Her breathing becomes rapid and shallow. The innocent victim persona she has performed for days begins to crumble in real time. Then comes the moment that seals her fate. Sterling leaps to her feet, her chair clattering backward. "You don't understand my world," she screams at the prosecutor. Her voice carries across the stunned courtroom. "Everyone wants a piece of me. Rebecca was going to destroy everything I built." The words hang in the air like a confession. Sterling realizes her mistake immediately. Her hand flies to her mouth. But it is too late. The truth has escaped her lips in front of judge, jury, and cameras. "She deserved what happened to her," Sterling continues, her facade completely shattered. The gallery erupts in gasps and shocked murmurs. Thompson frantically tugs at her arm, trying to silence her. But Sterling is beyond control now. Judge Burke's gavel crashes down 3 times. "Miss Sterling, you have just shown this court your true character." The prosecution delivers the killing blow with Sterling's internet search history. Digital forensics expert James Rodriguez takes the stand with evidence that destroys any remaining doubt about premeditation. His testimony reveals searches conducted on Sterling's laptop just 48 hours before Chen's murder. How to stage a burglary. Untraceable money transfers. How long does DNA evidence last on fabric? Each search term appears on the courtroom screens like digital fingerprints of murder. The timestamps prove Sterling spent hours researching how to kill and cover her tracks. More searches emerge from the recovered data. Best ways to strangle someone quietly. How to fake an alibi. Criminal penalties for business partner disputes. The pattern reveals a calculating mind planning the perfect crime. Sterling researched every detail except one: how to avoid getting caught. The facade that took months to perfect disintegrates in minutes. Witnesses from Sterling's past testify about her manipulative behavior. Former roommates describe her threats against people who crossed her. Business associates reveal her pattern of financial theft. The innocent girl next door image becomes laughable in light of overwhelming evidence. Sterling's total meltdown begins during her own attorney's questioning. Thompson attempts damage control, but Sterling refuses to cooperate. She interrupts his questions with angry outbursts. She blames Rebecca for forcing her hand. She shows zero remorse for the victim, only self-pity for her situation. "Rebecca was jealous of my success," Sterling declares from the witness stand. "She wanted to destroy me because she could never be me." The jury watches in horror as Sterling reveals her true narcissistic nature. Every word she speaks digs her grave deeper. Judge Burke observes the spectacle with growing disgust. "The defendant has performed for us today, but murder is not content creation," he states during a brief recess. "This court deals in facts, not followers." Sterling's complete character exposure leaves the courtroom stunned. The transformation from victim to villain happens before their eyes. The jury deliberates for less than 3 hours. Their swift return signals the inevitable verdict that everyone in the courtroom already knows. Sterling sits rigidly at the defense table, her performance finally abandoned. No more tears, no more trembling hands, just cold reality settling over her like a shroud. Judge Burke reads the verdict with measured authority. On the charge of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant guilty. Sterling's face remains emotionless as the words seal her fate. On the charge of grand theft, guilty. On the charge of fraud, guilty. Each guilty verdict hits like a hammer blow to her future. Burke addresses Sterling directly before sentencing. His voice carries the weight of justice and moral authority. "Miss Sterling, You have demonstrated a chilling capacity for deception that extends far beyond your online persona. You manipulated millions of followers, stole from your business partner, and ultimately took a human life to protect your fraudulent empire. The judge pauses, allowing his words to sink into the silent courtroom. Your online persona may have fooled millions, but justice sees through all filters. You cannot edit reality. You cannot delete consequences. You cannot block the truth. The sentence comes without hesitation. Life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Sterling's composure finally cracks. Her mouth opens in shock. The finality of never seeing freedom again hits her like a physical blow. Restitution of $50,000 to the Chen family. Forfeiture of all assets gained through criminal activity. Two bailiffs approach Sterling as Judge Burke continues. The defendant will be remanded to state custody immediately. The handcuffs click into place around her wrists. The sound echoes through the courtroom like a closing door on her old life. Rebecca Chen's family embraces tearfully in the gallery. Justice for their daughter has finally arrived. The courtroom erupts in applause as Sterling is led away. No cameras follow her now. No fans wait outside. Only a concrete cell and a lifetime to contemplate her choices. The verdict spreads across social media faster than Sterling ever imagined possible. Courtroom footage viewed 50 million times within 24 hours. The hashtag Justice for Rebecca trends worldwide as millions celebrate the downfall of the manipulative influencer. Sterling's remaining social media accounts disappear one by one, deactivated by platforms seeking to distance themselves from the convicted murderer. Documentary producers flood the Chen family with offers within hours of the verdict. Netflix secures exclusive rights to Rebecca's story for 8 figures. The focus shifts from Sterling's manufactured drama to honoring the victim's memory. Rebecca Chen becomes a symbol of integrity destroyed by digital age narcissism. Sterling's former collaborators emerge from silence to reveal years of manipulation and abuse. Models describe threats and intimidation. Business partners expose financial schemes spanning back to her early career. The testimonies paint a picture of systematic exploitation hidden behind carefully crafted content. OnlyFans implements stricter background checks for content creators following public pressure. Other platforms follow suit with enhanced verification processes. Sterling's case becomes a watershed moment for social media accountability. Her downfall triggers industry-wide reforms designed to prevent similar exploitation. The Chen family establishes the Rebecca Chen Foundation for victims of financial abuse and domestic violence. Their daughter's death becomes a catalyst for protecting others from predators who hide behind digital personas. Donations pour in from around the world as Rebecca's story inspires action beyond the courtroom. Judge Burke's post-trial interview becomes required viewing in law schools across the nation. Character is not measured by followers, but by actions, he states with quiet authority. Real power comes from integrity, not image. Justice does not have a filter. His words resonate far beyond the legal community. The broader societal impact extends into family conversations nationwide. Parents discuss the dangers of online personalities with their children. Schools implement digital literacy programs focusing on distinguishing authentic character from manufactured personas. Sterling's case becomes a cautionary tale taught in classrooms and shared in homes. The universal themes emerge clearly. Authenticity triumphs over performance. Consequences follow unchecked narcissism. And truth always surfaces regardless of how deeply buried beneath lies and manipulation.